Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Drone, powered by Women in Drones. My name is Desi Ekstein. I'm known in the industry as Drone Diva Desi, and I have the pleasure of speaking with RoseAnn Denton today. I'm very excited to have her here on the program. She's the CEO of She Drones, and she is also an educator at Grossmont College. The really exciting part is she's about to share some of her journey. She has been to so many places throughout the world that I can't wait for her to share. So, RoseAnn, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us. Let's just kick this off by telling us a little bit about how did you even get started in the drone industry?
I feel lucky. I feel lucky to be here. Thank you for being here. I love talking about drones. My husband teases me everywhere we go. We end up talking about drones, but it's okay. My story is it was about 2018. I actually came from a design and construction background. I have a design degree and I used to build stores all over the country. And I got a little burned out and wanted to stay home and be with my daughter. And then I decided to go back to do something more creative. So I was in a great photography program here in San Diego at City College. And one day in 2018, they had a drone symposium. And I was like, oh, yeah, camera in the sky. How cool with my photography department. And I went, and it was just like, psh, they said we were going to need hundreds of thousands of licensed certified drone pilots in the future. And this is where the industry was going. And it just opened my eyes to an opportunity if I wanted to jump in and see if there was a place for me in this big field. So I found a course, a granted program at Grossmont College. It was a granted program from Obama's to junior colleges, and I was able to take a cinematography course and a mapping course, and it was so fun. And this was back when there wasn't a lot of rules, there wasn't a lot of regulation. I think I took my test in September of 2019. So I had been flying since then, and it just was fun. I started doing small jobs, and the college kept track of me after I did the granted program, and they kept asking me to come back and talk for career day and what it's like. And then I started really investigating what it was like to be all of a sudden a female in aviation, right? This is a form of aviation, and I saw that there wasn't very many of us, and so it just made me use that platform to speak and try and speak to a lot more women to bring them into what I'm doing because I think it's so fun. So that just led to them asking me to come on as faculty when they indoctrinated the program into their schedule.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love that pathway. And you're right about women in the industry, and you are just such a role model for everyone. And so thank you for everything that you do for the industry. So tell us a little bit more about that Grossmont program.
Yes, so now that it's in the course catalog, we have basic drone flight and then advanced cinematography drone flight. But it's really has grown as the industry has grown. In the beginning, it was basic drone flight, which everyone takes, and then it was cinematography. In the beginning, was more based for like real estate, media, production. But now that the field has grown, we've really splintered those classes off into like beginning infrastructure, media, cinematography, the basic real estate, and then the basic drone flight. So we get a lot of students that come from many, many different pathways. So if you start with the basic class, you can take more to kind of what you're after. We have people that are just adding it on as a tool in their tool bag. They already work.
Mm.
Private investigators, archaeologists, GIS students, media students, architecture, retired photojournalists. Like we get a lot of people of all ages coming in that want to fly, and we just have some that just want to fly for fun, and know how to fly right. So
Well, that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah.
You fly right. And isn't it funny to look back at the industry? And in the beginning, we would ask someone, do you know what a drone is? And now it's just commonplace. It is a tool that everyone is familiar with and starting to use. And it's great to see that they're wanting to learn how to use that tool. Uh,
Yes,
so,
yes. And, creating positive drone ambassadors, that's what I call us all, when they come to my class, like when you all go out in the world, like you're a drone ambassador now. Like you know how to fly right, safe, you know the rules, and that's what we need because the bad players is what's given us a lot of extra regulations now. So it's always up to us to, be the example.
yes, yes. So this is actually also a really good time when we're talking about Grossmont College to do a shout out for Skip. Skip Fredricks is the one that was teaching and really kicked off everything as far as, like you said, cinematography. And so I could see how Grossmont was really, really putting out excellent content for that cinematography side of things.
Yeah, the college is really lucky to have him. I mean, does filming projects all the time and still teaches, right? And still shares what he knows on an entry level for anyone who's interested. So yeah, we feel really lucky to have him. He's going to be speaking at Commercial UAV. We'll probably get to that later, but yeah, yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that has probably opened a lot of doors for you, a lot of locations that you may have gone. I follow you on social media, so it's exciting to see some of the places that you have flown. Can you share a little bit with us as far as some of those locations and maybe what was one that stood out the most for you?
I mean, I think for when I first started and I was really nervous and I was just doing small real estate jobs and then flying for fun here in San Diego. And then I started to get booked for commercial jobs, which I love architecture. That's where my first love came from design and construction. So I love shooting brand new buildings. And we were doing that for some construction companies and developers. Beautiful. And then it just kind of snowballed into, well, why don't we do this sport? Drone soccer is fun. And it's kind of a fun way to also teach younger children the basic same skills. But then that enabled us to do some competitions. And I was able to go to Korea to Incheon for a drone soccer event. And that was so amazing. And that was 2 years ago. And then my most favorite memory is going to Finland.
Mm.
I was invited to speak at a drone seminar in Finland, and we were able to fly over there. And Finland is probably the most beautiful place I think I've ever seen. So beautiful. And
Wow.
San Diego is great, but yeah. So that has probably been my favorite, favorite spot. Just gorgeous. So
Wow, makes me want to travel there just as a tourist, even, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow. So you mentioned the drone soccer kind of avenue. Can you tell us a little bit more on that aspect? Because obviously it's opened up not only doors for you going places, Korea and all that, but that is such a huge element for paving a path forward for students in aviation. So can you share a little bit more about some of the experiences with the drone soccer?
Yes, so it was a few years ago at a commercial UAV. We met some vendors that had these drone soccer balls, and we had never seen them and never put our hands on them. And we're like, wow, this is so cool. And in such an encased drone, it's safe for young kids to fly it in a cage form. And so one of Skip's partners uh, did a partnership with FIDA, became the USA representative, and started doing camps out of Palm Springs. And it's led, 4 years later into a lot of these kids are now in high school. They're still competing. They got to go and compete out of the country. They qualified for that. And then it kind of led to, well, the high school and the colleges there are now interested in, okay, what jobs can we get with this job skill? These kids have been competing since, sixth, seventh grade. Now they're finishing high school. Let's look at a pathway, for inspections or cinema or real estate. So that's kind of where it's leading to. And it's just so fun to see them because number one, it's just fun. And then when their parents and they realize themselves like, oh, I can make a vocation out of this too. So it's rewarding, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned fun. I happened to see that you went and did something really fun there in Riverside. Can you tell us about that experience at that
Oh my
job
gosh.
fair?
Yes.
Oh,
So the Riverside County Fair, I think they call it the date fair or
that
something.
is it the
It's
date festival?
yes, the date festival, that's it. And I've been there, I actually flown there about a year before or 2 years before. And they invited us back and we got to fly day to night and it was so fun because I, brought my Mini 5 and it had so many cool things I was doing with it and flying day to night with all the lights. And it was really fun. The reels came out really nice. The fair is excited. And I think they want us to do some more projects with them. So that's anytime you get an opportunity, local Palm Springs and Palm Desert, they're really they want us to come fly their local concerts and their parades. And so we get to do a lot of things like with NBC News when they do the
Mm.
Christmas parade or things like that. And it's nerve-wracking, but it's fun. I get tethered in to the news station truck and I'm like, and I got the headphones in and they're like, okay, camera 3, you're on. And so it's fun. It's really fun.
Oh, that's exciting. So is this something that some of the students get to partake in as well?
So yeah, so what Skip will do is if we have a big project that's a production, he will bring in students as interns, as VOs, to kind of help understand like how the project works, to help us as pilots. So it's a good educational process as well. We did the Palm Springs Drone Fest in Palm Springs, and we had a lot of students that were coming behind the backgrounds, seeing how things were done, how the teams were put together, safety protocols, and production. So yeah, it was fun.
That is such a great thing because you're utilizing and opening the doors for the students. And that is something that is lacking in a lot of programs is people will go through a program and it's now what? And so I've seen quite often where doors are opening and employment opportunities are there through going through the Grossmont program. And so it's good to get that hands-on.
And we've been around long enough at the program where we're getting, oops, sorry, my window's open. We're getting a lot of industry members. And this is another reason when I go to commercial UAV, I network and I find companies that need trained new pilots. And we're getting more and more of them to come to our field and test our students that are in the advanced classes and they will pick them up. So
Wow.
that to me is rewarding as well because it usually takes a good year to get through our program, taking it multiple times to build up that skill set for that testing. But it's a good partnership with the industry companies that are needed to hire trained pilots. One of the things when I first went to commercial UAV to a lot of the educational roundtables was they said that people would apply for jobs and they knew how to use software and push a button, but they did not know how the basics of flying manually with a drone. And when things go wrong and software is glitchy, it was like they didn't know what to do. So they really needed to go back to the basics and make sure everyone understood safety protocols, everything from step one. So, yeah.
Yeah, so true. Quite often they don't know how to fly a drone. And so getting that experience and learning, going through those steps, getting that what if scenario, it's all valuable education. I want to segue and kind of go back a little bit more to that drone soccer side of things. You had a program with the veterans. Can you share a little bit about that?
So, one of our favorite people we get to work with, shout out to David Britton. He is an original Top Gun. top cat fighter pilot, retired, and he's into RC planes, and he's created this nice veterans group to bring drone soccer to youth, to veterans. So we had an opportunity to help him out for a World Cup expo that they were having up in Del Mar during the World Cup games. It was outdoors. So we were able to have a big cage, and all the families that were there watching World Cup soccer were also able to come over and learn how to fly drone soccer and expose them to that they had no idea that existed. So that was a fun event. We just did that like 2 months ago. So
Oh, that was at the Del Mar Fairgrounds here.
no, it was at the Del Mar Outdoor Market Mall that they had. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, it was beautiful. It's very fancy
what an
there.
outreach opportunity. I bet that was a huge success.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. We had a lot of parents that just had no idea, and they're like, "How do we get this? How do we get this?" And I feel like it's starting little by little. I know some schools around here have a little program, or a park and rec might have an after school program with it, but it's growing, and I hope it gets saturated here in San Diego like it is in Palm Springs. Would be great.
Yeah, awesome. So, do you have something that I think you had mentioned that you had something for La Quinta?
Yeah, so we've been partnering with La Quinta High School. They have a beautiful campus, and under their program, they have an entire marketing and media pathway for their students. Like
Wow.
they have a television station and camera equipment. And so these kids that are lucky enough to be in this pathway can take drone classes. So we come, a few times a month, and I think we're going to start it back up either this fall or early January, where we come, and these students are very interested in filming and media, cinematography, photography. So we kind of dive down into that, give them the basic lessons first, talk about camera settings and video and clips. And so that has been like really fun, because that's to me like the most fun, right? Like it's just
Mhm.
creative and enjoyable. And you'll have a new student, and he'll see that camera in a different way and say, "Hey, can I do this? And can I do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like the sky's the limit. Once you understand right and left and your gimbal and all that, you can get as creative as you want." So it's fun.
Ah, well, I'm sure you've heard this 100 times. Wow, I wish they had that when I was in school. All right. What an opportunity, right? So, what is on the horizon for you? I
Boy, well,
commercial UAV for one, but is
commercial UAV for one. Every year, I love it more and more and more, especially when I'm just saturated in all the workshops. Even if it's something that I am not directly doing right now, the education I get, especially drones as first responder workshops, oh my gosh, I just blows me away. It's inspiring. I just love hearing the good and the bad and the challenges and all the things that come together, that those men and women are trying to make our environment safer, right? Safer, safer, safer. Counter UAV technology is always interesting to me, how it's being used. I just get a kick out of all of it, right? Just like a drone junkie, as they say. So everything there is just fun to me. And I get to see my friends. I get to see you, and I get to see Vic, and it's just so, so fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. I will probably, hopefully, be doing some more drone soccer camps, maybe during winter break. Um, Probably back at La Quinta High School for a few more media trainings. And it's in the works, but hopefully we'll get some hard numbers. But I think I might be going back to Finland
wow.
this the end of May, and I might be staying to do training after the drone seminar. So I'm
Ooh.
hoping that, yeah. So it's exciting. Everything is good. I mean, I know the industry is going through some aches and growing pains right now, but I have confidence everyone's going to come out better on the other side. I just don't want people to get discouraged, because I think there's still a lot of open areas to jump in at.
I agree. I agree. And there are still so many opportunities and it creates even more opportunities. So yeah, don't get discouraged because there is great things that can happen in the future. So, and
Yeah,
that's so exciting that you may be going back to Finland.
I
That's
hope
huge.
so.
That'll be
Yeah,
fantastic.
summertime, it'll be beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, as we wrap this up, is there anything that you would like to share with anybody that would be watching at this moment? Words of wisdom that you'd like to impart with somebody, some encouragement, even though the whole program has been very encouraging. But is there something that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I mean, it reach out to your local community colleges. There's more and more drone programs popping up in everyone's area, right? Drone technology is not as sparse as it used to be for training. I feel like more training is coming up. So look to your community colleges if you're interested. There's a lot of social media groups. Some are not so great, some are great. It's a good way to find people that are flying drones near you. You know, go make a friend, find a safe place to fly. You also learn from other people. And it's learning from everyone's mistakes is okay, right? Nobody is perfect. And that is, it's been one of my instructors told me a long time ago, if you haven't crashed your drone, you haven't flown enough. So take that with a grain of salt. Like no one ever wants to crash, but there's a learning curve, right? You learn what your personal risk assessments that you need to make for your own self and following the rules. So just learn from everyone around you and be open. And it's so fun. I encourage everyone jump in.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, Roseanne, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us. We look forward to following you. Oh, wait a minute. If we're going to follow you on social media, how do we find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, RoseAnn.Denton on LinkedIn. I'm there. And I have an Instagram underscore she drones underscore. So you can find me there on as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at Commercial UAV. The
Yeah.
word is they're going to have a big drone soccer exhibit.
Oh,
So everyone's going to get to fly. So everyone come on over and grab a drone. I think Tim Ingram from FIDA is going to have a nice team. I think there's some of the members that actually went to compete this year
wow.
in Korea are going to be there and they'll be able to give you a demo and let people put their hands on them. So that's exciting news.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a
Yeah,
great opportunity. Get your hands on the sticks and fly and see what it feels like, right?
have some fun. All right.
Love it. Well, Roseanne, thank you. Thank you. And hope to see everyone in Vegas.
All right. Bye.
Bye.